Hi, I'm Coley. We are currently the 4th of December, and hopefully by next week I will have animated a little movie. So I'm taking you on the journey. Some of you may remember, 3 years ago, I started a challenge called An Animation a Week. Pretty self-explanatory. I did it at the time because I had no big project in mind, and I still wanted to animate, keep the habit of creating stuff, and I'm exactly in the same situation right now. I have plenty of free time and no solid plan. On top of that, I recently joined a brick filming community called brickfilms.com, and they just happen to organize challenges every 3 weeks or so, and you have 2 weeks to participate. Now, the challenge they are organizing and which I'm attempting started a week ago, so I now only have a week left to make it. Thus, an animation a week. So the theme for this one is spilling a hot drink. And I immediately thought, exaggeration, someone burns himself with coffee and gets literally lit on fire. And just like any sane person, when I think man on fire, I think Anakin Skywalker. So here's the idea I've been developing for the past week. Palpatine asks Anakin for some coffee. Anakin starts to make the coffee with the Force, referencing Star Wars 2, where he's using the Force with food. I just imagined if he could do that, he might as well just never use his hands and lose the habit of manually handling things. So Palpatine gets angry, says, "You're a slacker, you're a teenager, do it with your hand." Anakin is not used to it, plus Palpatine scares him, so he burns himself with the coffee, it gets on his arm gets on fire, his whole body gets then on fire, plus, little idea I've had yesterday, I think, because he's a Jedi, thinks my lightsaber is gonna solve all my problems. So he grabs his lightsaber, throws it in the air because, he's on fire, he's panicking, lightsaber switches on and chops his legs off, in true Mustafar fashion. So this is the set as it stands right now. I spent yesterday trying to recreate Palpatine's office. The walls are supposed to be dark red, but I don't have a lot of dark red. I have more brown bricks, so I started to build it with brown bricks, but I ran out of them. So I'm giving you this super special tip if you're poor and don't have enough bricks to make walls. Just use those, the snot bricks with a stud on the side, and then you can just put tiles and plates and just cover huge surface without a lot of bricks. And there's an alternative if you're even poorer and don't have snot bricks, just plug the plates directly on the ground. I'm not a fan of this technique, I wouldn't do it now, but I've done it in the past and, well, it kind of works. I spent quite a lot of time trying to recreate this little weird round bulb that we can see in the original movie. I'm very happy with how I used the wheel part as, a table. I don't know what it is. And the other main thing I'm happy with is the coffee machine. It's super simple, but I really wanted to nail it since it's like the central part. So I looked at some references of Lego coffee makers. They are basically all the same. You have one side with a tube sticking out to pour the coffee and the other side with a printed tile for a timer or buttons or whatever. I actually made it dark gray at first, and it looked way too much Star Wars-y. Like, the point of this coffee machine is that it's completely out of place, and since the walls of the place are dark red, I thought this light blue color would be perfect. So I had to take parts from the Fort Anglia from Harry Potter 2. This is where I'm at right now. I'm gonna keep building the set. I'll see you in a minute.
1 hour later.
Building news! I have just finished building Palpatine's office. So as you can see, I added the plates made of dark red, which I borrowed from my beautiful Chevrolet Corvette.
Il dirait qu'on roulerait jusqu'à s'en faire crever les pneus.
Now you might be wondering, what are these plates for? Well, it turns out with the snot method I used, if you remove these, there's actually a little bit of light that is passing through, and adding these behind, made of dark gray, allows to just make it seem like it's a solid wall. Oh, and by the way, super proud of this wall. I really like the technique. I think I've seen it being used in mocks to replicate the look of the Star Wars columns, walls, whatever they are. And I don't think LEGO has ever officially used it, which is a shame because they always use stickers, but this works perfectly fine. And it fits perfectly into regular bricks. Perfectly. And it fits perfectly into regular bricks. No attachment whatsoever, just a regular tile on the ground and you're good to go. Quick update, 2 things. First, you might be wondering, what is this? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I've got another question for you. Where does the light come from? In the movie, if you look very closely, you'll notice that it's really dark, so no using this lamp. Palpatine catches the light on the right side of his face, while Anakin catches the light on the left side of his face, which means there should be a lamp around here. And oh, look at this! Something I can put a lamp on it, like this one. But it turns out my lamp is pretty heavy, and the whole structure can easily fall off. So these are the problem solvers, because physics aren't your enemy, they are your friend, and just like any real-life friend, you can manipulate them by using their own rules. So this here, being heavier than my lamp, allows it to stay in the air, and the figures underneath are perfectly safe.
Il ne peut plus rien.
Nous arrivés d'affreux maintenant.
And second, you will also notice I built the background, which looks like a neat children's book city, not specifically Coruscant, but
It is of no concern.
And you might also notice these 2 black plates. Why? Because the background is going to be animated. Again, in the movie we can see cars flying around, and I want to have this as well. But animating the cars at the same time as the characters would be a real pain, so I'm going to be animating the 2 separately and then compositing them together. It's the next day in real life, and I've just finished animating the second shot of the movie, which is a close-up of Palpatine, which is actually going to be split in 2 different shots in the editing. And I'm about to animate the third shot, which is a reverse shot on Anakin. And this one is actually going to require 2 different setups for when he's on the right side of the room at the beginning, and when he's near the coffee maker at the end. As you can see here, I had to rotate the set 90 degrees because I needed to have the background behind Anakin to be seen, and I couldn't do that in the previous setup. And you will also notice that I am poor, because this part is actually the one that is supposed to be here. But because we do not see this part in the actual shot, I don't need it to be there. And this shot is going to be much easier than the previous ones because I'm not gonna have to animate the ships in the background, and that is a relief. We're Monday, the 8th of December, and I still have one final shot to do. Saturday I didn't do anything.
It's Shabbos.
And yesterday I animated the side shot with the first fire effect. So now all I have to do today is animate the final shot with Anakin on fire falling on the ground. And also today I would like to record the final voices. I will be dubbing both Palpatine and Anakin, and we'll see how this goes. Hi, so we are currently Tuesday and I have to finish this by tomorrow. Actually, I would like to finish this today, so I'm willing to stay up as late as it needs to be, so that tomorrow I will only have to upload it to YouTube, link it to brickfilms.com, and call it a day. So as you can see, or maybe not because we're far away, I am currently working on the VFX. I have finished the editing, I have recorded the voices, I have finished the audio editing with all the sound effects I wanted to add. I still want to add one little bit of music that I will make myself. And here I am trying to mask the window to integrate the Coruscant backdrop, rotoscoping every character, and so far it's going pretty well. I just hope that I'm gonna finish in time. I'll catch you later in 2 seconds. Alrighty folks, we are Wednesday. This is the day I'm supposed to finish this whole thing. Yesterday evening I managed to finish all the VFX, so all I have to do now are the final steps of color grading and mixing the whole thing. And as you can see here, I'm going to recreate the iconic theme of Darth Vader. Here I added some effects on Darth Sidious's voice to make it even more threatening.
Rise, my new apprentice. Rise, my new apprentice.
And I based my color grading off of the one in the movie directly in Premiere.
Rise, my new apprentice. We must move quickly. First, make me a coffee.
I will do whatever you ask, my master.
Use your hands! You slacker! Always using the force when it's not needed. One of these days, you're gonna have to strangle someone. Are you gonna use the force?
Well, it would make it easier.
No!
I have a bad feeling about this!
No, bad!
I hate you!
We are cooked.
Well, here we are, Thursday. I have officially finished my animation and put it out there for the entire world to see. I had a blast making this challenge, and I think you have noticed, as always, the first days are really exciting, And when you reach the third or fourth day, the initial fun kind of starts to fade away and you realize how much work you have to put in. And so that's typically the moment in a regular animation where I would go, nah, I'll do that tomorrow. But here, no, no, no. Because if you want to get your thing finished in time, you gotta do what you gotta do. So I cannot recommend enough this kind of challenge, having to make a finished product in a limited amount of time, whether it be drawing, songwriting, animating, anything, even not something art related. If you want to get better at something, just do that kind of challenge. It's the best. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time. That's it.